Good afternoon and welcome to the Assembly Revenue Committee. Madam Secretary, please take roll.
Assemblywoman Anderson.
Present.
Assemblywoman Benitez Thompson.
Present.
Assemblywoman Bilbray Axelrod.
Here.
Assemblywoman Considine.
Present.
Assemblyman Hafen.
Here.
Assemblywoman Kasama. Assemblywoman Kasama.
Here.
Assemblyman Miller.
Here.
Assemblyman O'Neill.
Here.
Assemblyman Orentlicker.
Here.
Assemblyman Roberts.
Here.
Assemblyman Yeager.
Here.
Chair Cohen.
And I am here. Again, welcome to the Revenue Committee. We are going to be doing a work session today. Some housekeeping information, though. We will have public comment at the end of the hearing. Public comment may be limited based on the number of people we have and the fact that we've got a lot of other committees waiting to meet for deadline day today. So to get us going, I'm just going to go ahead and open the work session. Mr. Nakamoto, please go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Chair. For the record, Michael Nakamoto, Deputy Fiscal Analyst with the Fiscal Analysis Division of the Legislative Council Bureau. There are 3 bills on today's work session. The first bill is Assembly Bill 360, which was heard in this committee on March 30th and which was sponsored by Assemblyman Hafen. The bill revises provisions relating to vapor products. I will just basically go into the amendments to the bill because the testimony was given on an amendment that was submitted by Assemblyman Hafen prior to the meeting. The amendment that was submitted would delete the provisions of the bill as written and instead require retailers to utilize advanced age verification technology at the point of sale for every tobacco and vapor product purchase to ensure the purchaser is at least 21 years of age, and that would become effective on January 1, 2023. There were also penalties for violations of the section that were outlined in the proposed amendment. Following the hearing, Assemblyman Hafen submitted another amendment, which is attached to the work session document, and that is dated April 9th, so with today's date on it. It contains provisions amending the original amendment as follows. First, the age verification would not be required by the retailer if the purchaser is 40 years of age or older. Second, the penalties would be revised such that a violation would be a civil penalty of $100. And finally, Assemblywoman Hardy would be added as a co-sponsor of the bill. This amendment would retain that January 1st, 2023 effective date for these provisions. Madam Chair, members of the committee, if there are any questions, I would be glad to answer them. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Mr. Nakamoto. And I will just let the committee know that I have been advised that both Southern Nevada and Washoe County's health districts are in support of the bill with the amendments. And also we had some back and forth about the penalty section and if we needed to have it or not have it, because we do have some other bills this session that are addressing those issues as well. However, we're going to pass this out, or possibly you will vote on whether we're going to pass it out the way it is right now. But please understand that is possibly still an issue and a work in progress. And with that, do we have any questions? Okay. Seeing none, I will take a motion to amend and do pass.
So moved, amend and do pass.
I have a motion from Assemblywoman Bilbray Axelrod. Do I have a second?
Second, Assemblyman Roberts.
Thank you, Assemblyman Roberts. So just, do we have any discussion? Okay. Seeing none, can we please have a roll call vote?
Assemblywoman Anderson.
Yes.
Assemblywoman Benitez Thompson.
Yes.
Assemblywoman Bilbray Axelrod,
Yes.
Assemblywoman Considine,
Yes.
Assemblyman Hafen,
Yes.
Assemblywoman Kasama,
Yes.
Assemblyman Miller,
Yes.
Assemblyman O'Neill,
Yes.
Assemblyman Ortlicker,
Yes.
Assemblyman Roberts,
Yes.
Assemblyman Yeager,
Yes.
Chair Cohen.
And I am a yes. I will assign that floor statement to myself. Just kidding. I'll assign that floor statement to Assemblyman Hafen. Congratulations. Mr. Nakamoto, please, next bill.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Again, for the record, Michael Nakamoto with Fiscal Analysis Division. The next bill on today's work session is Assembly Bill 370, which was heard in this committee on April 1st and was sponsored by Assemblywoman Dickman. This bill revises the distribution of the excise tax imposed on liquor containing more than 22% alcohol by volume to require that 15% of the portion of the tax that is currently deposited in the State General Fund instead be deposited in the Tax on Liquor program account. The proceeds from this portion of the tax must be used by the Division of Public and Behavioral Health of the Department of Health and Human Services to increase services for the prevention of alcohol or other substance use disorders and for the detoxification and rehabilitation of persons with an alcohol or other substance use disorders. There was an amendment that was submitted at the hearing relating to the proposed use of the funds by the division. It would amend Section 2 of Subsection 2 of the bill to specify that the money received by the division from this portion of the liquor tax must be used to pay for grants for the provision of peer recovery support services for persons with alcohol or other substance use disorders that meet the requirements specified in the section. Following the hearing, there was another conceptual amendment that was submitted by Assemblywoman Dickman that would revise the bill as follows, and this is outlined on the work session document. First, it would remove the 15% allocation of that portion of the excise tax on liquor that would go to the tax on liquor program account, and it would maintain the distribution of those revenues in the State General Fund. Instead, an allocation of $200,000 to DPBH for each biennium would be made to the tax on liquor program account in addition to the liquor tax revenue that is currently distributed there. And the third change would be to remove Section 2, Subsection 2, Paragraph B of the bill, which contains the provisions allowing the division to use those additional proceeds for administrative and personnel costs. Shortly before the hearing, we received another amendment from Assemblywoman Dickman, which would go into that very first amendment that was submitted at the hearing and remove the word peer so that the proceeds from this allocation would be used for the grants of the provision of recovery support services and removing the word peer. And it is my understanding that Assemblywoman Dickman and someone from DPBH will be on to clarify that. With that, Madam Chair, I would be glad to answer any questions. Thank you.
Thank you. So let's first turn to Assemblywoman Dickman, and I'm not sure who's here from DPBH, Dr. Woodard, and give them a moment to explain the basis behind the amendment.
This last amendment, you mean, Madam Chair? Thank you. Jill
Yes,
Dickman for
yes,
the record.
thank you. The one more.
Okay, yeah, as I understand it, with DPBH, the word peer is too restrictive for the granting of funds, and I believe Dr. Woodard is on to explain that.
Dr. Woodard, please go ahead.
Good afternoon, Stephanie Woodard for the record. Yes, by removing the word peer and leaving it to recovery support services, we would be able to use these dollars to fund a number of recovery support services, which would be inclusive of peer recovery supports, but not exclusive to.
Thank you very much. Committee, do we have any questions on this issue? Sir. Go ahead, Assemblywoman Anderson.
Thank you, and thank you, Chair Cohen. So would this impact any of the current programs that are currently being funded?
Thank you, Assemblywoman Anderson. Stephanie Woodard for the record. My understanding is no, that the addition of the $200,000 over the biennium would be in addition to the existing funding that the program uses. Therefore, the programs that are currently funded would retain that funding.
Thank you.
Okay, committee, any other questions on this issue? Seeing none, do we have any questions on any issue, anything else with this bill? Okay, go ahead, Assemblywoman Considine.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just have a clarifying question because I think I got an email that confused me today. So I just want to make sure that I'm understanding all of these amendments correctly. Is that in the original bill, the original funding from the liquor tax, the tax on liquor program remains, but the additional request of that 15% on top of that, that is being taken out. And then there is the $200,000 in the biennium that is being added in. Just want to make sure that I have all of that correct, like the original funding is still intact.
Mr. Nakamoto, do you want to answer that?
Yes, Madam Chair. Assemblywoman Considine, this is Michael Nakamoto for the record. That is correct. The bill as amended would maintain the current funding for the tax on liquor program account, but instead of having that 15% allocation, it would the bill or as amended would remove that and then place an additional $200,000 per biennium into that account.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that clarification.
Any other questions? Seeing none, I'm looking for a motion to amend and do pass.
So moved, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Assemblyman Yeager. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Assemblyman O'Neill. Do we have any comment? Okay, seeing none, I'll just thank the sponsor and Assemblywoman Considine. I know they worked to get this bill to a good place. And thank you, Dr. Woodard, for joining.
Madam Chair.
Yeah, please go ahead, Assemblywoman.
Thank you so much. I just want to thank all the stakeholders and the committee members, but especially Assemblywoman Considine for all the work that you put in to make this work. Appreciate it so much.
Thank you. With that, seeing no other comments, I will ask for a roll call vote, please.
Assemblywoman Anderson,
Yes.
Assemblywoman Benitez Thompson,
Yes.
Assemblywoman Bilberry Axelrod,
Yes.
Assemblywoman Considine,
Yes.
Assemblyman Hafen,
Yes.
Assemblywoman Kasama,
Yes.
Assemblyman Miller,
Yes.
Assemblyman O'Neill,
Yes.
Assemblyman Ortlicker,
Yes.
Assemblyman Roberts,
Yes.
Assemblyman Yeager,
Yes.
Chair Cohen.
And I'm a yes. With that, the bill passes unanimously. Congratulations, Assemblywoman Dickman. And we will assign you the floor statement. Mr. Nakamoto, next bill, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Again, for the record, Michael Nakamoto with the Fiscal Analysis Division of the Legislative Council Bureau. The third and final bill on today's work session is Assembly Bill 35, which was heard in this committee on April 1st and which revises provisions governing the commerce tax. The bill specifically amends the definition of business entity for the purposes of this tax to exclude a person who takes part in an exhibition, a trade show, industry, or corporate meeting or similar event held in this state for a purpose related to the conduct of a business, including without limitation an organizer, manager, or sponsor of such an event or an exhibitor at such an event. As drafted, the provisions of this bill would exempt these persons from paying the commerce tax. Madam Chair, there are no amendments to the bill. The only thing that I would note is that this bill is eligible for exemption. So if it does move out of this committee, the next destination is likely the Assembly Committee on Ways and Means. With that, I would be glad to answer any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Nakamoto. Do we have any questions? Okay, I go ahead, Assemblywoman Anderson.
It's not really a question, it's more of a comment. At this time, I'm going to be a no, because I had not been thinking far enough in advance when it was presented to ask if there was any way to have it be for a specific amount of time. For example, just until the next session, or to get some more clarification on the history. So I'm just putting that out there as a comment more than as a question to be answered. At this time, I'm a no, but it's because I think it should only be until the next session. So that way we can have some more time to consider it and talk about it a little bit more.
Thank you, Assemblywoman. And then just as a reminder to all committee members, you always reserve your right to change your mind. And we just ask that should a bill make it to the floor that you inform me if there is going to be a change on your vote. Do we have any other questions?
Madam Chairwoman.
Please go ahead, Assemblywoman.
Thank you so much. And this is another one that's where it's a comment more than a question, but during the hearing, I tried to be really deliberative and kind of how I was thinking about this to make sure I had the information I needed. And the series of questions I asked during the hearing was trying to sort out, is this a piece that's needed for economic recovery? And I think I heard pretty clearly, like, no, this is not what this is about. It's helpful in that way, but that was not the intent of this. It really is about a disagreement over, a taxpayer and who should be included in the tax collection. My understanding is that this bill moving forward won't interrupt any of the outstanding processes that are in place and happening between some taxpayers and the Department of Taxation. So that gives me some reassurance, because I don't think the legislature's place is to get in the middle of tax disputes that are in process. So at this time, I'm a no, because once again, if this had been about, part of our economic recovery effort and a very specific need in Clark County for this type of business for a certain amount of period of time, 2 or 4 years, then absolutely. But this does seem to be just about a disagreement in tax. We'll say that our staff did some really extensive research, and we did not find a legislative history regarding to paragraph N on this bill. It sounds like there might have been some reference to this conversation on other tax bills, but once again, it didn't end up in as a consideration for this bill. So I feel most comfortable feeling like at that time, when I took my vote on it, I had the understanding that it would be like the exhibitors and the participants, not the person organizing it. So that's where I am today. Just wanted to make sure I had it on the record.
Thank you. Assemblywoman Bilbray Axelrod.
Thank you, Chair. Am I unmuted? Okay. I will be voting to move this out of committee, but I had indicated to stakeholders that is based on the fact that I believe from talking to a couple of folks that it was the intention. So I'm going to do a little more digging, and I will see where I arrive when it gets to the floor, but I will vote yes to get it out of committee today.
Okay, thank you. Do we have any other questions? We will have a chance for comments after we have a motion. So let's see, any other questions? Okay, seeing none, I'm looking for a motion.
Madam Chair, I'll make a motion. To do that.
Okay, I have a motion from Assemblyman Roberts. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a second from Assemblyman O'Neill. Now, do I have any comments? Go ahead, Assemblywoman Considine.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And I just wanted to add my comment, I guess, kind of along the lines is I am a no right now, but I am also looking for a little bit more clarification on all of this, but I just wanted to put that out there right now. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for that. With that, can we please have a roll call vote?
Assemblywoman Anderson,
No.
Assemblywoman Benitez Thompson,
No.
Assemblywoman Bilbray Axelrod,
Yes.
Assemblywoman Considine,
No.
Assemblyman Hafen,
Yes.
Assemblywoman Kasama,
Yes.
Assemblyman Miller,
Yes.
Assemblyman O'Neill,
Yes.
Assemblyman Orentlicker, Assemblyman Orentlicker,
Yeah, I have serious reservations about this bill too.
Assemblyman Ortlinger, can you just take the vote and I'll give you a chance to make a comment after?
Oh, okay. I'm going to vote no.
Assemblyman Roberts,
Yes.
Assemblyman Yeager,
Yes.
Chair Cohen.
And I'm a yes. With that, the bill passes. So after we come out of the work session, I will allow you to make a comment, Assemblyman Ortlinger. So with that, we will conclude the work session. Before we move on to public comment, I'll just do this in reverse and ask if we've got any. Oh, and I need to, I'm going to take on the floor statement. I'll give that to me. So with that, I will close the work session and ask if we have anything from the committee. And Assemblyman Ortlicker, please go ahead.
Yeah, I, like some of my colleagues, I'm open to voting in favor when this gets to the floor, but we need more information. I feel we need more information about the need for this before we make a decision in favor of it.
Thank you. And go ahead, Assemblyman O'Neill.
No, Chair, I was just volunteering to take the floor session on the last bill, that's all.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you. So do we have any other comments from the committee about general anything? Okay. Seeing none, I am going to open up the phones for public comment.
Chair, the public line is open and working. However, there are no callers to provide public comment at this time.
Okay. So with that, what I'm going to do is recess the committee. I do not think that we will need to come back, but we'll just keep that open just in case. So we'll let you know as soon as possible if anything does happen. And then before I recess, I just want to thank our staff. I don't want to leave anyone out, but thank you so much because we do really appreciate it and know how hard you're working. And I would, but then I would be holding you up to go to other committees to get our staff out of here tonight. So thank you very much. And we are in recess until call of the chair.